Welcome back to the show. On Saturday, we really wanted to be at the reopening of the legendary Jennerstown Speedway.
Yes, we did. Other tracks were canceling because of a rainout, but I was so pushing Ron that we try anyway. And then they canceled. Yes,
they did. But fortunately, America's Motorsports Park took the chance and was in action Saturday night. The Laurel Highlands Sprint Car Series feature did not get off to a great start, as we see Bryce Stevens and Tyler Denochik get together in turn 2 on lap 2. Also involved was the 7 of Cowboy Jim Kennedy. Ralph Engel Jr. moved to the point position after Stevens and Denochik went to the rear of the field. Riding in second is the 37 of Hunter McCracken. There would be 5 cautions during this event. This one brought on by Steve Kennewell's spin. The last half of the race saw some great action at the front of the field. Stevens had worked his way back to the lead pack and had to contend with McCracken as they tried to chase down Engel. But watch Engel's car as he loses a header. That would slow the pace once again. On the restart, everything seems very calm with Engel, Stevens, McCracken, and Kennedy occupying the first 4 spots and running single file. But 2 laps later, Stevens takes a shot at the lead going into turn 3. However, that doesn't work, and while Stevens tries to gather up some momentum again, McCracken runs high through 1 and 2 and takes the second spot away from Stevens. 2 laps later, McCracken pulls the same move on Engel. He briefly has the lead until he and Engel rub tires. McCracken tries to recover as we're now at 2 laps to go. Ralph Engel Jr. would hold off Bryce Stevens to pick up the win in the 3:05 sprints. Jim Kennedy would get by Hunter McCracken to take 3rd. Shane Smith finished in the 5th position. This is the second attempt to get the late model feature underway. Dan Gill in the black number 11 and the 32 of Todd Salek led the field into turn 1. Yet it didn't take long for Mike Blos in the 5 ride to take the lead. Things get bottled up behind Blos, allowing Dwayne Steiner in the 99 to close on Gill and Salek, who make contact in turn 2. Collected in the incident is the 00 of Randy Sterling, whose trucking company sponsors the division. This race would see a number of cautions in the early laps, including this failed restart. On the final restart, Blos gets a good jump on Gill. Steiner runs in the 3rd position with Luke Hoffner in 4th. Blos would continue to open up his lead while dealing with lap traffic. Steiner tried several times to catch Gill as the laps wound down, but would eventually lose ground navigating lap cars. And Mike Blos would go on to collect the checkers in a dominating fashion. Gill held off Steiner for 2nd, with Luke Hoffner placing 4th and Ronnie Bottenfield coming home in 5th. Although only 9 street stocks started the feature event, it did not lack for quality and entertainment. We picked things up on a lap 4 restart. The 911 of Tony Brown led from the drop of the green. Curtis Teets in the 11 rides in his tire tracks. As he sets up for the turn, Dan Smeel gets into Teets, sending him around. Once we get back to green flag racing, it would be the 28 of Fuzzy Fields challenging Brown for the lead. And that's when Smeel goes for a ride in turns 3 and 4. And do you want to know who the culprit is? That would be Mr. Teets, who gets black flagged and sent to the pits. Once back up to speed, the battle continued between Brown and Fields. Fields would try a different line to squeeze under Brown in the turns, but Brown held his line perfectly. Eventually, Fields worked the outside of Brown to take over the lead. Down the stretch, Fields would pull away from Brown to claim his first victory at AMP. Congratulations, Fuzzy, on the win. Brown had a perfect line. He's very consistent. You had to try a couple of different ways to get around him.
Oh yeah, he was really good all night tonight. I was following him there for quite a while, and I tried to get underneath him, but every time it looked like he was going to wash out, he'd just pull the car right back down. He ran an excellent race. I got down there one time, and I thought that I was going to take him out, and I decided, no, we're not going to do this. He's running a really good race. We went to the high side, found some grip. Had to work him for a while, and it wasn't easy, but in the end, it panned out. He was super all night. He races me clean. We raced the Dog Hollow last night, and it's just good to race him like that too.
We were talking earlier there, you actually found a little bit of grip right up against the wall. You almost had like an amp stripe.
Yeah, I definitely about had an amp stripe. I come out there and it was hooked up, but I kind of like looked out the corner of my eye. I was like, I'm getting a little close here. We're definitely going to put some racing stripes down the side of it. We ain't got no lettering, so I thought, oh, racing stripe won't hurt it.
A good start to the season, because last year, uncharacteristically, you were winless.
Oh, I'm telling you, last year was a very frustrating year. I was just glad to come in here tonight. This is where we're going to run our regular season at, and started out with a win. We went to Dog Hollow last night, tried to shake some bugs out of it, learned a little bit about the car, came here tonight, paid off, and here we are.
And we were talking earlier, you were saying about you guys almost gave up on this after last season, but you had the faith to come back.
Yeah, it was just about to that point where it wouldn't have been too hard to walk away until they started racing. Then we would have been all like kicking ourselves in the butts. You know how it goes.
You were thanking your wife in Victory Lane. You want to thank her on camera?
Hey, I thank my wife for everything that she does and puts up with, and lets us keep doing it. I love you, miss.
Tony Brown, Dan Smeal, Jamie Price, and Alan English followed Fuzzy Fields across the line in the Street Stock feature.
Well, up next is my story on a new sprint car team. That and more when Pit Pass returns.
Pocono Raceway 2014. For tickets, call 1-800-RACEWAY or visit PoconoRaceway.com.